One dedicated to my killer will niggas. When they say, son, live hell. Look, hey, gotta watch yourself. Be safe out there. Even when you leave the club, put your seatbelt on. We don't want nobody to die. We don't want my niggas to kill. Hold up. Yeah. Hey, wait, to let them know what's
Farewell, Chocolate City. You will forever be missed. You are my security blanket covered in thorns. You are my lover and my best friend. You are my abuser and my rapist. On you, I could get so high that I could touch the sky. You would always bring me to heaven before dragging me back to hell. You were there to comfort me after you beat me black and blue. You were my stability that was always lacking. I hated you so much that I loved you. I vowed to never leave you. I never could have imagined that it would be you to leave me. Farewell, Chocolate City. I am a part of a cultural phenomenon here in Washington, D.C. Gentrification has taken my D.C. away from me. I am among a group of Native African American Washingtonians who are grieving the loss of our D.C., of our Chocolate City, to gentrification, despite the abuse and stress we endured growing up within it. It almost appears that we have Stockholm Syndrome, which is a psychological phenomenon that causes the captured to feel empathy and understanding towards the ones that are holding them against their will. Or, like we are in a familial domestic violence relationship with Chocolate City, and now our loved abuser has been murdered by gentrification. As a social worker, I have to be careful because I am extremely biased towards gentrification of DC. This is why it's important for me to regularly check statistics and stick to the facts when discussing what has happened here to my beloved Chocolate City. This is a phenomenon that is hard to explain. Growing up in Chocolate City exposed us to severe toxic stress and caused us to walk around undiagnosed with disorders such as PTSD, and acute stress disorder. I was a ward of the D.C. court from the age of 13 until my emancipation at 21. Like many others, I would often run away from the group homes I was placed in. By the early 2000s, I had been raped 3 times, had suffered the loss of numerous friends and associates. Some had been killed due to neighborhood gang violence, and others had been arrested and incarcerated. It was normal for my generation to cope with our environment by smoking weed, partying, and dancing to go-go music. However, my legal guardian, the D.C. Superior Court, felt it necessary for me to attend therapy sessions on a weekly basis. I remember my therapist at the time asking me why I did not want to leave D.C. when I grew up due to the trauma I have experienced here. I remember trying to explain to her the unexplainable love-hate relationship that I had with D.C. I tried to tell her that although I experienced heavy trauma in Chocolate City, all my good memories, my awesome memories, also happened in Chocolate City. The gentrification of D.C. is a social justice issue, as it murdered our culture and brought with it more inequality. We native Washingtonians use one of our coping mechanisms, go-go music, to fight against the gentrification of our beloved Chocolate City. But ultimately, we lost the fight. Chocolate City has been killed. It has been murdered. Some view the legalization of marijuana here in D.C. as a pacifier for those of us that are grieving our beloved Chocolate City. Having lost the fight, gentrification has pushed many African American native Washingtonians out of D.C. It has also led to a wide disparity gap in income in D.C. In 1970, 71.1% of D.C. population identified as Black, hence the name Chocolate City. But in recent years, gentrification has drastically increased the number of white Americans and decreased the number of African Americans. It has eliminated Chocolate City and taken with it a lot of our African American culture. Gentrification brought in individuals with higher earning potential due to their privileges in areas such as race, class, gender, education, etc. The median household income in Washington, D.C. in 2019 was $92,266. However, in 2000, the median income was only $40,127, which shows a 129.9% increase in median income from 2000 to 2019. When the statistics are viewed through a racialized lens, the impact of gentrification on African Americans in D.C. can easily be seen, along with the disparity in how wealth is distributed. As you can see in the charts, the median income of white people in D.C. has increased by more than 100% from 2000 to 2019. The median income of Asian people in D.C. has increased by almost 200%. The median income of Hispanic people in D.C. has increased by about 175%, while the median income has only increased about 50% for Black and Native Americans in D.C. during the same time period. As a social worker, I plan to work with the Native Washingtonians and the low-income population in D.C. I will advocate for solutions to the disparities seen, and I plan to offer a range of services to these populations directly. I plan on offering case management services, community support services, therapy services, support groups, advocacy groups, entrepreneurship classes, financial classes, etc., to assist the low-income population in D.C. Prayerfully, with the help of social workers, Native Washingtonians like myself will heal from our grief over Chocolate City and help make new DC a better and safer, equitable DC. Maybe, just maybe, we can revive our culture by bringing back the positive aspects of Chocolate City and leaving the negative aspects dead and buried.